Welcome back to another tutorial for your Steve model. If you followed some of the other tutorials in this series, you should be able to start using your model in Minecraft. The simplest way to import your model to Minecraft is to add all your model, texture, and animation files to a folder. Then make sure that you only use lowercase letters for the folder name. Then add the folder to the Custom Models folder. To find the Custom Models folder, go to your .minecraft folder, then press Config, your Steve model, and Custom. Another way to import your model to Minecraft is to make a structured folder with the new ysm file. So inside of an empty folder, you can make a folder for animations, one for models, textures, and also one called avatar. Then add the animation files to the animation folder, and the arm.json and main.json to the models folder, and all the textures in the texture folder. Inside the avatar folder, you can add a picture for the author of the model. In the new update, you can also add sounds to animations. So if you're going to add sound to one of your animations, you can make a sounds folder for that. Then you can copy the ysm file from the default model folder and add it to your new folder. Now we'll be taking a look inside of the ysm file. You need to adjust it to work with your model, or else your model will not show up in game. The name is the name of your model. The name you write here will be displayed in the model menu when your mouse is hovering over your model. And the name of the model folder will be displayed here and here. The tips is where you can write a description of your model or just add some notes. You'll be able to see it when you press this icon. And here you can write the license for your model. Next up is the authors section. When you work with other people on a model, you can add them as one of the authors. You just have to write their name, role, and some more information here. You can also add a comment that you can see in the Model Information tab. Under Properties, you can change the height and width of your model. And this is also where you can change the names of the extra animations. You just have to write the name that you gave the animation in blockbench, and then write the new name after. In the first animation, there's also something called extra config. It's something new you can use in version 2.3.0 and later. It makes a button in the animation wheel that you can press to show the extra animation buttons. To change the name of the animation that you put the button on, you just have to write it here instead. Now we'll be taking a look at how the animation buttons work. What you write in type will change the type of the button. So far there are 3 types. The range type is a type of button that you can drag. The default model uses this type to change the player's size. The step decides how much it will move when you drag it. And then there's the minimum and maximum value. Another type is checkbox. The default model uses this type to activate the bow accessory. For it to work, you have to add the variable inside a value to your model's main animation. You can also change the name after the B to something else. There is also a type called radio. One way you can use this is to switch between outfits. Here's an example of how to set it up. Basically, for each type you have to write the last number inside a blockbench. Then there's the extra animation classify, which is just a few more things that you can configure, like which animation you want to show in the model menu, and the name of the default texture. Now to the file part. This is where you have to write where the files are located in the folders. First, there's the model part for the main.json and arm.json. Models is what the folder is called, and main.json is the model file. The same thing goes for animation and texture, and if you have a sound folder, you can add it to the sound path. If you happen to make arrows, you can add the model, texture, and the animation here. Now let's take a look at some problems you might run into. If you only want one author for the model, you can set up the author part like this. Try not to delete any curly brackets or commas, because if there's something wrong with the ysm file, your model will not be able to show up in game. There shouldn't be a comma at the end of the last extra animation, but there should be a comma separating the other animations. If you write the wrong name for one of the extra animations, The animation will be empty, and nothing will happen when you try to play it. If there's an animation you don't add to the animation list, your model will be using the default animation instead. And if you write this arrow part without having any files for the arrow, your model will not show up in-game. If you can't make the YSM file work, you can try duplicating the default model and overwriting it with your own files. I'll add a YSM file to the description with a few notes that might make it a bit easier for you to use it.